Hey, Scott Russell. And today I've spoken to a couple of people about the same thing actually that called, and it's talking about letting go of the old so you can enter the new. And I think a lot of the time we try to hold on to where we are in life, even when we're not happy there, until we see the new open up, and then we think we can just transition in without, seamlessly without any discomfort. And it's really not the way life works. And I think faith is where that comes into it. And I think for me, when I ask God, what am I letting go of and where am I headed to? I don't always get the answers, but I know the next step is to follow the peace. And sometimes something can seem so crazy to do, but there's peace in it. My head is telling me one thing, my heart is telling me another. And I think as we are heading into these uncertain times, it's very important, I think, to understand what's going on around our lives. Perhaps it's time for some of us to let go of places, things, people around our lives that need not be there. Some of those people are a drain. They pull us down, they suck life out of us. And I always say I like to give life to that which gives life in return. It gives me life. I give life to what gives me life. When I'm giving my essence to it, my life to someone or something, if there's something coming back that's equally as building, then I know it's right. But if I'm giving and it's going into a black hole and nothing's coming back, then I step back and reevaluate where this whole thing is going. And so it's funny just talking to some of these different ones. One of the men that I was talking to, I guess 3 or 4 years ago now, we had a conversation. He was coming out of addiction and he was living in like a trailer park equivalent here in Australia. And I remember talking to him and I'd be telling him some of the hard things he needed to do. I said, one of them is, mate, you've got to leave where you are and get out of the trailer park and then let the trailer park thinking come out of who you are. And of course, he didn't like that. And he'd disappear for weeks and then he'd come back. And of course, every time you disappear, you try to pretend everything's all right and you try to go on like with normal. Everybody wants normal, right? So he's going on with normal and then the misery comes. He got things stolen, he gets abused, he gets the usual patterns that come in of addiction, right? And so ultimately he stepped out of the trailer park. The first night he went to sleep in his car and I didn't know that. I remember reaching out to him and it just happened to be the first night he'd left, and he ended up with somewhere to stay, and from there he's just gone up and up out of the addiction lifestyle and into seeing great respectable jobs and respectable company. And my point is many of us, all of us, have to make those decisions. Sometimes there's things around our life, people around our life, situations around our life. We just need to let them go. Yes, it can be scary, but you know what? If you don't let it go, then 5-10 years from now, you're going to be far worse off than where you are now. Yes, it's a hard decision sometimes to say, you know what, I need to make this decision. But as I've been talking to people today, make the decision. Or don't complain wherever you are. And I think as the world is unwrapping the way and unfolding the way it is, and so much uncertainty, it's so important. Look at who you want to be with through this. Look at where you want to be through this. Look at what you want to do through this and start to make the changes now, because it's going to be too hard to make it when it happens. So yes, you're going to have some discomfort. Try talking to God about it. Ask him. Step out in faith. Just saying, all right, God, I don't even know if I've met you, but I think like that lovely lady that I once talked to that was saying, I talked to something out there, I don't know what it is, but I always get an answer. Talk to that thing again. And ultimately, that's a God that's romancing you. You will know him. You will know what's right. Let go of what's holding you where you are. Let go of your fear, your insecurity. That's a big one. Insecurity. Let go of your insecurity. We all have to struggle with that, don't we, and overcome it. Give it to God. Ask God to help you with it. And step out to where you need to be. And watch what God does in your life. Watch what he does. And often we try to think, well, God, we tell him how he should think. But, he doesn't want you to suffer. He doesn't want you to be in a wrong place. He doesn't want you to be where something is taking and hurting you. He wants you to be where you can be in life. walk in life. Step into the next thing for your life. Put the right people around your life. And let's see what the future's got. Because I tell you, there's good things ahead.